What is up, YouTube? This is Jared Spalding here, and today I'll be making a brief video just telling how to store your silver and gold bullion, and I'm going to be going over multiple aspects of storing it. So let's just jump right in here. Alright, so first of all, everything depends on the size of your silver and gold stack and the value of your coins. Now, the first thing I'll be going over here is how to store silver in the most convenient way, so it takes up the least amount of space possible. Now, if you have a lot of, let's say you have a lot of 1 ounce or whatever sized rounds, usually you're gonna, well, actually I think that you usually can only go up to 1 ounce, but a great way to store those is, unless you have them like in special cases, if you just have them loose, a great way to store those is in coin tubes. You can probably pick those up from pretty much any coin dealer, and they're great for storing them. Usually they'll hold 20 silver 1 ounce rounds, and this is one of the reasons why rounds are so much easier to store than bars. So these are definitely a great way to store your silver rounds, as well as gold rounds. If you have a lot of the gold 1 ounces, you can store those in these tubes as well. And there's many different types. There's airtight tubes, there's just standard, whatever you prefer, but usually it's good to get a hard plastic one that protects the silver very well and keeps it safe, basically. I'm sure you know about this, but I just think it's a great way to compactly store your silver rounds. Another great way is with an empty monster box. A lot of coin tubes can fit in here, and this is also a great method for storing bars. I know many people who have bought empty monster boxes to store their silver stacks in, and a monster box, as you probably know, is 500 ounces, so it can easily fit in any small silver stack. It can fit a lot of coin tubes in there, 25 to be exact, and it's a great way to store everything in one box. So when you pick it up, you can pick up, let's say you have 300 ounces of silver, you can pick that all up at once. I mean, it's going to be heavy, of course, but you get what I'm saying. You can lift up all your silver without it being like really loose and really scattered. Sorry about the picture in the background, but I think that's the best kind of box to use. Of course, there's other methods as well for storing rounds and bars, but let's move on a little bit here to storing bars in general. And now, I don't really know too many compact ways to store bars besides monster box, but I mean like holding them all together. I know you probably could buy sheets where it's like 10 whatever sized bars still sealed, but that's not really compact because it's very scattered out. So I mean, one great thing about bars is how their stackability. You can stack them on top of each other really well, so any kind of old box you have laying around, you could really stack them into them and make them fit in very well, especially if you have different sizes. You put the smaller bars where bigger ones won't fit, obviously. Like if you have a bunch of larger bars in and it leaves little spaces because they don't quite reach the end of the box, then you can put smaller bars in. You can also flip bars on their sides if you have a long crevice. So they're very easy to stack in boxes, and that makes them very compact way to store silver. Of course, you can also buy much larger much larger sized bars than coins. Like coins might go up to 10 ounces, I think. Well, I know there's some rounds that are like 1 kilo, but that's even pretty large for a round. But you can get bars that are 1,000 ounces and crazy amounts like that of silver. So plus you see a lot more hand poured bars than rounds if you're into that kind of silver. Now that's just ways of compactly storing silver and gold. Now I'm going to say right now, gold is really easy to store compact because it's so expensive. It's a lot more value in the same size per ounce. A lot more value in 1 ounce of gold than 1 ounce of silver, at least right now, and probably is going to be that way forever. But so gold is going to be a lot easier to store than silver. I mean, so unless you have like hundreds of ounces of gold, really this is not, you shouldn't really be too concerned about storing it. But now I want to move on here to discreetly, like ways of discreetly storing silver and gold. And first of all, I want to say your best method probably is just a safety deposit box at the bank. As long as no one knows where it is, you know, like no one knows, no one knows where your deposit box is. No one knows the bank or anything, especially not the number. I mean, because chances are, even if a bank gets robbed, no one's gonna be robbing from the deposit boxes. So, you know what I mean? Even if the money gets taken from it, which rarely ever happens, but you know, the chances are, and even if they did rob safety deposit boxes, again, they'd have to open up a bunch of them before they find yours, which is also, I want to say, why you should try to get a number in the middle, because if someone were to rob the boxes in a bank, they're going to start on one end or the other most likely. They're not going to randomly start and find yours first. It's number 1 or whatever number it is, like say it goes from 1 to 10,000, it's 10,000 or number 1 that's going to be getting robbed first, if anything. And no, you know, if you're number 5,442, then you know they're going to have time to rob 5,441 safety deposit boxes before the police come. So I mean, and the chances of this happening are very low anyway, so you're pretty much safe with the safety deposit box. But if you don't trust the bank, then a good way of keeping it at your home, I know I got at least a couple people who actually bury it, their silver and gold, although I think it makes this very hard to access and to add, you know, silver too if you want to get more. There's a lot of conspiracy theorists who do that, who are, you know, worried about the government coming to take your silver and gold, which I don't think is necessarily going to happen. But in any event, you want to just you don't want to have like a monster box that I was talking about before just out, because anyone who knows anything will know there's going to be a lot of silver or gold in there. So you don't want to just have that laying around. A good way to store it is just really put it like somewhere inconspicuous, if I could say that word right, where no one's going to notice really. I mean, because this is like if your house got robbed or something, you put it somewhere where it looks like, you know, just something dumb, like, I don't know, empty coffee cans. Those are a great way to store. Also copper pennies, if you're into that, which I'll probably try to get into that, because those are very difficult to store. But you know, if you have a lot of silver or gold, then I guess a coffee can could be a pretty good way to store it, because you can't really see inside, and robbers are trying to be fast. They're not going to have time to open up every one if you have a bunch of them. You know, I mean, but you'd want to put this can somewhere else. You wouldn't want to just leave it out in the open either. So you definitely want to try to be very discreet. A wall safe's really good, as long as it can't be, you know, easily broken into. A really expensive wall safe, or a safe that's like kind of just basically stuck in your house, so they can't take it and have time later. They'd have to, you know, break open the safe right then, which most people aren't going to be willing to do if they're trying to rob your house. But you know, if you can't afford something like that, then just somewhere inconspicuous really is a good spot to put it. Somewhere where it doesn't look like that thing's worth taking. And you know, of course, you want to have alarms on your house so that you won't get robbed anyway. Try to avoid that, but this is like worst case scenario. And then you always do want to have some kind of weaponry if you're stacking silver and gold, to protect yourself in case someone somehow finds out about your stack and comes to rob you. Which, you know, all of this is very circumstantial and has a very low probability of actually happening. But if you have enough silver and gold, then you definitely want to be careful with it. Now, I'm kind of rambling on here, so I'm sorry about that. But let me just move along here to numismatic silver, or constitutional, and how to store that. And really, if you have a lot of like junk constitutional, the best way to store it is just coin rolls. Get them from your bank or wherever you can. You know, you can get coin rolls, they're empty pretty much anywhere, and just fill those up with your silver. and you know, they're great. I mean, they just store it. That's what they're made for, storing coins. So that's definitely the best way. And then put them in maybe a monster box or just somewhere inconspicuous where you can keep the coin rolls. And now the problem with these though is that most people, if they see a coin roll, they're gonna steal it regardless because it has money in it. At least if it looks full. So try to hide them somewhere. But they're a great way to keep all the coins together. You know exactly what coins that you're looking at, because that roll, it's not like trying to like rummage through and find your coins. You know, each roll is going to have X amount of coins in it, and you're going to know exactly what they are based on whatever the roll says. So, you know, you can also, if you want to store them, get a box from your bank that's like maybe $500 in quarters or $50 or something, and put them in there. That's a great spot to put them, since these bank boxes were designed exactly for coins. But anyway, I hope you found the information in this video useful, and if you did, you know, make sure to leave a like and comment and subscribe and all that goodness. And I really do hope that you enjoyed the video, and if there's something you didn't like, then let me know in the comment section before you dislike this video. So anyway, remember, this is everything I've said in this video is just my opinion on it, and you know, of course everyone's gonna have their own methods of storing silver and gold bullion, and I hope that whatever you're doing is working for you. So just try to stay safe with it, and you know, that's it for now. Peace, love, and much respect.